Today I'm in Utah desert, got my Zerode G3 downhill bike, and I want to do a bit of a walkthrough on the bike, as well as tell you what the pinion gearbox is like on the G3. We're in the Utah desert, as you can see, the perfect place for downhill riding and free ride, and we're going to be doing a bit of riding as well in this video. But I wanted to put this video together to give you my experience of riding the Zerode G3 downhill bike, as well as the pinion gearbox. So I get a lot of questions on this bike, so this is kind of a video to clear everything up, give you a bit of a review and show you what this bike is like. So as you can see, this is the G3. It is Zerode's downhill bike. There's a couple of very special things about this bike. It is a brand that came out of New Zealand, which a lot of people don't know. A lot of people in Utah, in America, where I am right now, have never even heard of this brand. So it's still quite a small brand. It's still quite a niche brand. It is very special because it has a gearbox on it. It has the pinion 6-speed gearbox, and it is belt driven. So there is no chains. It is just driven by the carbon Gates belt drive. I've been riding this bike now for about a year and a half. Really impressed so far with it. Saw people riding Zerode gearbox bikes maybe 5 years ago when I was racing enduro, and I was always really super curious about like how they rode, why they were better, and just what they were like. What drew me to the bike was the fact there is literally zero maintenance on this thing. So far my experience has been really positive. So let's talk a bit about how the gearbox actually works. So as you can see here, it's a very unique design. We have the gearbox, and then we have the belt system and the tensioner pulley. It is a true high pivot bike, which basically means when the bike hits a bump, the bike essentially gets longer. So the suspension moves up and away from the front wheel, so it moves reverse, versus a traditional pivot where actually the bike gets smaller when it hits bumps. So this bike actually gets longer, which is a very interesting feel. It's nothing too out of the ordinary, but it is definitely different feel to a traditional pivot bike. So let's do a quick spec check on the bike, and I'll show you what I'm running components wise on it. I am currently running a size medium, and I am 6'1", so I do like to run my bike slightly on the smaller side of things for free ride. We've got a 29-inch wheel on the front, 27.5 wheel on the back. To me, that is like my perfect fit bike. I do like my bikes on the small side of things. Based on the website's sizing, it recommends I use a large, but I just like this size of bike. We've got the DVO Onyx D1 fork at the front, 200mm. We've got a DVO coil shock on the back with a 550-pound spring. For riding out here in the desert, you need as stiff a spring as you can get. Title, handlebar and stem, which I really like. I've got a 50mm rise bar on here, which it doesn't actually look 50mm at all, but it is. Direct mount stem, and I also have a Works headset in here, which is a longer headset cup, so it's actually offset, so it makes the reach a little bit bigger running that medium-sized frame. And then wheels wise, we've got the Santa Cruz Reserve downhill wheels, 32 spoke in the front and the rear. So I've had these wheels now for literally a year and a half, and they are laced onto Chris King hubs, which I love the sound of those hubs. And in that time, I haven't touched any of the wheels. I haven't adjusted spoke tension or anything. These wheels are bomb-proof. Brakes, we've actually got Lewis calipers, and I'm currently running Shimano levers on here, just personal preference feel. ODR long neck grips, my favorite grip. Love that thing, it's like an old BMX grip. Title saddle, and we've got the Samuel pedals on there, which I think are, again, the dog's bollocks. The pinion gearbox with 165mm cranks, so it'd be cool to try maybe some shorter cranks. So there's going to be a lot of you guys watching this video wondering, well, why would you have a gearbox over traditional derailleur? And there's a couple of key reasons. Firstly, you have a lower unsprung mass, so the bike is essentially going to be more stable and smooth, in my opinion. Secondly, look how much neater this looks. We don't have any cassette, we don't have any chain or any derailleur that's going to be rattling around. We just have a carbon belt, which the carbon belt, they're actually rated and will last, I believe, 2 or 3 times as long as a normal chain. They have been really solid. I think I've replaced my belt once in the year and a half I've had this bike. So super durable, super cost effective, and super neat, and super silent. This bike is so quiet, it is ridiculous. So if you are someone who doesn't like all the chain rattle and all this stuff hanging off the back of your bike at the lowest point, which is ridiculous, belt drive is probably going to be up your street. Now, because we have the gearbox on the bike, we can shift at any time. We don't have to be moving or pedaling to shift. So I can be going down a steep chute or entering a corner or even in the air, I can shift gears without having to pedal, which means I can be more reactive on tracks. I can be more ready for the next feature that's coming up. I really do like it. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but we have electric shifting. So it works like a traditional shifter, and then the gearbox just does its thing as I'm shifting. Whereas on a traditional derailleur, you'd have to be pedaling and the chain would have to be going round for you to change gear. But to be honest, if you're out here anyway, I don't actually do that much shifting gears. A lot of the stuff is really like just, you could do it chainless, but I do like the fact that you can change gears anywhere. Maintenance, that is another question that comes up a ton with these bikes. It's actually kind of like spooky. When you wash the bike, you don't really have to do anything else. There's no oiling of chains. You don't have to dry the belt off or anything like that. You just literally set it and forget it, it's done. Whereas on a traditional chain cassette drivetrain, you'd have to wash it, degrease it, re-oil it, dry it, all this stuff, which you don't have to deal with on the pinion gearbox that I have. When it comes to the weight of the bike, I'll put the weight of the bike off Zerode's website on the screen now so you can see it. My bike is slightly heavier than most conventional downhill bikes, which to me is a willing trade-off, or is a worthwhile trade-off, because the bike feels way more stable and way more planted on downhill tracks. Now I'm using my bike nowadays more for free ride, drops and jumps, and the bike jumps really well. Like, I don't have a problem with jumping the bike. It's really stable, it's really planted. It is slightly heavier, but it's nothing like that you can't handle or get used to for sure. So reliability of the gearbox, again, I haven't had any problems with this gearbox. The only thing I have done is I actually smashed, I put a hole in the smart shift box because it hit a rock from underneath, but now you can actually get a skid plate under this which protects this completely, which is great. I don't currently have this, but I should get one soon. But other than that, the actual gearbox itself has been flawless. And in terms of like shifting, it's got a battery in the frame which you charge from a port up here. And ironically, it'll do, I don't know, thousands of shifts on one battery. I'm actually in Utah now for like 10 days. And I actually forgot my charger for it, stupidly. But I haven't had to charge it. It's still fine. It'll last you probably a week or two of riding, I believe. Maybe even longer, depending on how long you are using it for and how much you're shifting, but I've never had to worry about charging the bike. Now, although Zerode is a pretty small brand, it's getting bigger and bigger, more well-known, which is really cool to see. They offer a couple of different specs on the website, which you can choose from. And they have a new build right now called the Expert build. People are always asking about the cost of the bike. How much does one cost? Because people think like small niche brands like this are like almost like too expensive to afford. The way the bike market is right now, just prices are generally higher than they used to be, say 5 years ago. So I believe that Zerode is a very competitively priced bike. With the offer of the new Expert build, this is going to give you access to riding a Zerode G3 like this at a much more cost-effective way. It is just as competitive as any other bike on the market, as the World Cup downhill team have been showing recently in this past year or two. It's a proven bike. It's been used on the World Cup circuit. It's been used in Red Bull Hardline. It is a very capable bike, and it's a very, very bomb-proof bike. I mean, look at the welds on the bike. Like, it's built to last, this stuff. It's built to survive. It's not built as a flimsy downhill bike that is trying to weight save here and there. It is built to last, it's built to ride, it's built to shred. Now, I've been working with Zerode now for about 2 years, and because of this, they've given me a special code for 10 of you guys to use who are interested in jumping on trying a Zerode with their either Expert or Deluxe build. You can get 10% off using the code AlexRides10, which I'll put on the screen here, which will get you 10% off either their Expert or Deluxe build from Zerode, which is insane. We're going to do some shredding now on the bike. Very capable bike, very happy with the pinion gearbox. I would say the only kind of downside, if you want to call it a downside, it's more of a personal preference to me that I've got used to, is a little bit heavier. But I haven't built my bike to be the lightest downhill bike possible. I want this bike to be able to ride like I want it. I want it to be stable, planted, and I want it to be confidence inspiring for riding the stuff out here in Virgin, Utah. I don't want to be going down a trail feeling like my bike is going to snap in half or not have full confidence on this stuff, because if you've ever seen some of the riding out here, you have to have full confidence in yourself and the machine you're riding, which is what I feel the Zerode G3 provides for me. I will also leave a pinned comment and in the description the discount code that I mentioned to get yourself a G3, which only applies to European customers. But yeah, stay tuned. Unreal bike, unreal gearbox. Let's go shred.
You have to go in front. Hell yeah.
Oh my god, the dust. Real hard to follow close. Whoa. Whoa, I can't see anything here.